Welcome back to Newslink. You'd be excused, I beg your pardon, for thinking we're living in a sci-fi movie after this next interview. South Africa's just awarded a patent to an invention that was created by artificial intelligence. It's a first for the country and possibly the world. Davis, or the device for the autonomous bootstrapping of unified sentience, is officially the inventor of a new interlocking drinks container. Jurisdictions around the world, including the US and Europe, have rejected similar applications, saying that an inventor must have legal capacity. South Africa, however, recognizes Davis as the official inventor. Toby Shapshank, who is definitely a real person, is the publisher of Stuff magazine and is here to help us make sense of all of this. Toby, first of all, every single day I'm starting to think Terminator 2 was not so far-fetched. The machines are coming to get us. What is the significance of an AI holding a patent?
No, I think we can relax a little bit. They're not coming to get us yet, but give it like 3.5 hours, and they'll be after us. No, it's a fascinating thing, isn't it? Because artificial intelligence is what it means, artificial intelligence, and yet it's not there yet. Our brains are the most extraordinary thing on this planet. Incredible. Everything we're doing, speaking to each other via Skype on an iPhone. In the middle of the Magaliesberg using wireless antenna, all created by our brains. Our brains are very complicated, and what scientists are trying to do is replicate some of the tasks, and it's really called machine learning. And that is the kind of place where the machines are now. So they're not ready to, create their own tanks and make Arnold Schwarzenegger pull off his skin and reveal that he's really a robot. We're waiting for that anxiously. But these kinds of things where you can give a task to an AI or a machine learning device like this Dabus, as it's been named, and it will find a better way of doing it. And in fact, that's kind of the way artificial intelligence learns. It takes something very narrow, very specific, and it can do very brilliant things with it. So there's some controversy that South Africa awarded this patent and Europe and America didn't, and that their argument is it has to be a legal entity, or it has to have an ability to do something. Well, it did. It created a new design of an interlocking box. I mean, the world needs more interlocking boxes, as I'm sure the front page headlines always tell us. But nonetheless, it shows us that when given a task, an artificial intelligence can do it pretty well, and well enough to win a patent. And that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that a non-human has designed something that's been given a patent. So the patent system is very complicated. In America, there's a lot of criticism that patents are just awarded without due diligence being done, and people just Googling to see if something like this has been done before. Someone trying to prove how easy it was to get a patent in America, patented a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The Americans call jam jelly. So a peanut butter and jam sandwich got a patent. It's hilarious. They describe in those scientific terms they use in patent applications. So we know that you can game the system. In this instance, I don't think so. I mean, it's touch and go whether the AI should or shouldn't get it, but of course it's owned by the human who created the AI, or the head of the project that created it. But for me, what's interesting is that it just shows you the slow evolution of where we're going, and it's always fascinating when someone does something for the first time, right? Like, who cares who climbed Everest for the second time? So this is an interesting development, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of criticism in South Africa and that our patent system isn't good enough. But we invented the creepy crawly. We're a well-known revolutionary country, so I don't think we should put any kind of brakes on the innovation in this country by being more onerous on the patents.
Toby, why has there been backlash on South Africa about granting this patent? We know Australia followed soon after, but that process went through a court system and they eventually awarded the patent. Why has there been this backlash? Is there a fear that artificial intelligence could, in the future, monopolize technology?
Yes and no. I mean, the backlash. I mean, as I discussed, there's the patent backlash. I mean, we're in the midst of the patent Olympics, it seems. So, if one person scores a gold, the other people complain. There has been this attempt to undermine what's been achieved. I can't say that it's something with I mean, the Australians approved it as well after a court case. I'm not sure if the approval has actually gone through for the patent. But there is a distinct fear the world over that artificial intelligence will be malevolent. It will do horrible, bad things just like we do. And there are lots of examples of artificial intelligence replicating the racism and the perceptions and the negative connotations. You know, in America, they trained a computer and AI to help judges do sentencing, and they would, you know, after the court case has been held, and it turned out that AI was even more racist than people complain about the American judicial system, because one of the input terms was more people are in jail who are black, and black people tend to go to jail more often. So the AI assumed because this person's skin color was a person of color, therefore they were more likely to be a repeat offender. So the AI just assumed the prejudice that us humans had programmed into it. I don't think we have to worry yet, and I think we've got at least 3.5 hours is probably inaccurate, maybe 3.5 days before we have to start worrying and pack all those cans of beans. You know?
Well, Toby, listen, I still have lots more questions, but unfortunately we've run out of time. You've alleviated my fears just a little bit. Thank you so much for joining us. Toby Shapshank is the publisher of Stuff Magazine, and best you be kinder to your computers from now on, in case they become our overlords.